All right, ladies and gentlemen of the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I am doing another interview as it relates to Heaven Glisson. And with me today is Courtney Reffett. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Courtney grew up with Heaven and was her best friend. And I've seen photograph and social media proof of that. And Courtney called me over the weekend, and I spoke to her, and I thought it would be nice for her to come in and be interviewed to give you a little perspective about who Heaven Glisson was, she was all about, the kind of mother she was, the kind of person she was, and in addition to that, the pickle that she was in as it relates to Donald Bryant. So first, thanks for being here. I appreciate you coming in.
You're welcome.
And let's start with you. Give me a little bit about your background.
So I'm actually from Pendleton County. Me and Heaven, we were raised on Ammerman Lane. We've been best friends since middle school, and that's where it all started. I am currently an AT&T representative for AT&T. I work for them, and I have been doing that for 2 years now. And I'm just like a wholesome person, and when it comes to me, it's always family related and family oriented. And when it comes down to Heaven, I always protected her with everything in me because she was who completed me.
Okay. You were her best friend.
Yes, sir.
You all lived together.
Yeah, we had our moments. So like everybody always knew us as if Heaven was there, Courtney was there. Like when we were little, we would walk up and down the road to each other. Like one was always in trouble, so like the other one came to defend in the end. And
that's what friends are supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying. We had to have each other's backs.
Right.
And from there on, we got really close. Heaven was actually a bonus child for our family, and she was one of my mom's pack, as she called her. It was us until we had the oldest. That was the happiest days of our lives. Like the day that she found out she was pregnant with Aiden, I still have a picture in my camera roll of me kissing her tummy, her little pregnant tummy at her baby shower. And then it was just me and Aiden. And like Heaven always put Aiden first. Every single thing was revolved around him. If we went out and we did something, it had to be kid oriented. And like we would just take him down to the river, let him swim. Like I can still remember he had his swimming pool outside. We always tried to look for the fun things in life. Like the little things were the importance part to us, because at the end of the day, when we didn't have nobody, we always knew we had each other. Because when I was at my lowest, all it took was Aiden and Heaven's smile on the front porch to keep me going.
How old is Aiden now?
Aiden's 5 years old.
Okay. Now, your relationship has been constant, correct?
Yeah, since we were in middle school.
Okay. I mentioned about you all living together. Was it at your apartment or her apartment or?
So at the time, Heaven was living in her trailer before I got my apartment. So as us being best friends, we always just it'd be a few weeks, we would stay together.
I
but
see,
like,
that's how you would do it.
Yeah, and then like before she met Donald, she was actually talking to another man that wasn't any good for her either. She had gotten him out, and I had moved in. And I had lived with her for 3 months until she met Donald Bryant. When she met Donald Bryant, he kind of kept her like secretive in the beginning, and I really wasn't hearing much from her. And when they got together, she was so happy about it. And like, I honestly don't know what to think, because how did he groom her so well to the point that he did what he did? That's what like just my brain doesn't understand.
Tell me what you perceived as some grooming by him of her.
So when they first started dating, he would buy her all kinds of things. Like I have her Apple Watch back there, like we were talking earlier, because I wanted her here with me. He bought her that. He told her to sell her car and he put her in his car that was in his name. And then also her phone broke, so he put her on his phone plan, which gave him the leeway to be able to track her anytime he wanted. And then,
Did he track her?
Yes. So like when the certain period of time after, she would try to run away from him, but he would track her. And then like we would call the state police and have her out, but then he would call the state police on her and threaten to file charges against her for stealing the vehicle. So once again, like she's tried to run away, but the cops are making her come back because she felt like she felt like she had no option. Like Aiden was in school and she had things that she had to deal with as a mom. And she was terrified every time she went back because obviously in the beginning he was taking her phone so she couldn't call nobody. And then it turned into he was taking the vehicle too. So she was going home scared for her life that he was going to take everything and there wasn't going to be nobody there.
So through the phone and the car, he controlled her.
Yeah. And like
Did you see her less when she started seeing Donald?
Yes. So like in the beginning, I had started my job and I was doing good for myself. So like every once in a while, it'd be a few months before we would see each other just because of life. And I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous, sir.
It's okay.
I apologize. I lost my train of thought.
No, you were talking about how you stopped seeing her as much as when Donald came in the picture.
So when he started grooming her, he made himself look good. Like he would show up to the baby shower and stuff like that and like things and act normal. He wouldn't speak. And like he would just sit in the background of it. And then after that, I remember the day of Aiden's birthday party. He literally gave heaven crap for having his birthday party at Memo's building. He said we should have took him to Chuck E. Cheese or Dave & Buster's or something like that because he felt sorry for Aiden's birthday. But anybody in the family, friends, anybody knows that anytime we had anything, it was done so Memo could be there with us. And we would do it down in the little basement underneath her facility.
Who's Memo?
So Memo is the one that raised Angel in heaven.
Okay.
That's where I met her. It's Memo Nora is what her name was, and she lit up our life too.
Okay. She grandparent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's actually the one Heaven and Angels lived with their whole entire lives.
Is she still alive?
No, that's part of the story. So Mama passed away a couple months ago, and Heaven was already down anyway, so he took her vulnerability. Like she was vulnerable, like she was losing everything she felt like selling her stuff and everything just to pay the bills because he wasn't working. So like Memo got sick and Memo passed away like out of the blue, and like literally it blew our whole hearts because like I can still remember running around Memo's apartment with Heaven and Aiden spraying a water bottle.
Where did Heaven work?
Heaven worked she would go between nursing homes and daycares. At the time, she was working at a nursing home in Butler, but if you remember, it started to flood in Falmouth and it started to take us out. So her job got closed for a little bit after the flooding. And then she got another daycare job she was telling me about up by my house.
I'm aware of that. She got a daycare job.
Yeah. And the deal was she was supposed to move in with me and do the daycare job and get her back up on her feet. Like I told her, I said, I have Wi-Fi, I have electric, I have water, and we've got toys for Aiden. So everything's taken care of. Literally, I'll go to work during the day, do my job. You just literally sit here and relax. Because she was scared of him being at my house too. But what I told her was, I said, I have a maintenance man, and I have men around here that are my neighbors, and I said, if he shows up on this property, I promise you this door will be swarmed before he even makes it in.
Did Donald Bryant ever express anything to her about not liking you?
So I actually had a friend after she passed away that messaged me and told me that she had missed Heaven, but she wasn't allowed to talk to her. So I guess Donald had made a rule that the only person she was allowed to talk to was me.
When was the last time you spoke to her or heard from her?
Was the night she passed away.
The night she passed away. What was the communication about?
So I had talked to her just like a normal day, like we usually would, and she told me that Aiden was with Mima and Papa at the St. Mary's Festival, and Grayson had been sleeping because Grayson wasn't sleeping. He hadn't slept since 6 a.m. the morning previous. So that was the last time I got off of FaceTime with her. I told her I loved her, and I said, Snapchat me, because Grayson was up. And then she Snapchatted me until about 8 o'clock. And it was when the last snap I remember getting from her was Aiden's face painted from when he was at the festival.
What is your personal knowledge, and what can you share about Heaven being scared of Donald Bryant?
Okay, so a lot of people have asked me this, like family members, friends, like they want the answers. She was literally terrified. Like that night when we called the state police, there was
Which night did you call the state police? When was that?
That was the night we talked about in March when the EPO was
Okay,
filed.
the March EPO. Okay.
Yeah.
She actually, I saw the court record. She filed an EPO, and then at her request, it got dropped. Tell that story.
So that night, there was a night, me and Heaven had went out. We went and did something with Aiden, and then we came back, and it was me, her, my dog, Faith, and Aiden. Me and Aiden were laying on the couch together because I'm not allowed to have a man, as Aiden says. He's the only man that's allowed to be in my life. If I need cuddles, if I need loves, he will do the responsibilities.
Good for Aiden.
Yeah, and that night he was cuddling me on the couch, and Donald comes through the door, and like you could see.
Whose house was this?
This is Heaven's house.
Okay.
Keep in mind, all these stories I tell you guys, that trailer was in Heaven's name. Donald had no ties to the trailer out in Pendleton County.
Okay.
It was solely Heaven's name.
Okay.
But that night he came into the front door, and you could see the fear. Like you could see the eyes in him. And he looks at me and he tells me to get out of her house. Like we're literally sitting there watching cartoons, peaceful.
What happened next?
Heaven looks at him and tells him I don't have to get out and stuff like that. And then he picks my dog up by her neck and throws her across the house. And then he goes like he's going to put me physically out of the apartment. In that moment, I picked up my phone and I dialed 911. And before he could get to me, I had 911 in the dispatch on my phone. And me and Heaven, we took Aiden to the bedroom and we closed the door because we were scared. And we just sat on with dispatch until they got there. When they got there, there was like 7 or 8 state police out there. And they wouldn't even come up to us. Like they literally handcuffed him and put him in a cruiser before they would even enter the yard. When they got up there, they were talking up to us, asking us what happened and stuff. And they made her leave her house. Like they told her in her front yard, sitting in her front deck, that they couldn't make him leave. There was nothing he could do. Keep in mind, this is in her name, her house. There was nothing they could do to remove him. We had to evict him. So Heaven sent a text message from her phone that night telling him he was evicted.
So did he tell them that he lived there?
Yeah.
Did he live there?
Yeah, for a period of time when they first met until when she moved into the new apartment, he was gone. But that whole entire time, he was living there. But keep in mind, too, my best friend was being cheated on, and he was making bad decisions on his part that my best friend didn't even know about.
Did he cheat on her?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
So she has text messages in her phone that she screenshotted and sent to another friend so he wouldn't see. There was a female at his job that he was cheating on her with, and he was also using drugs behind her back, too.
Yeah, there's apparently a comment where he told her the night he did this that when I get my fentanyl, you know, I'm going to be dead or whatever.
Yeah, so
did he sell drugs?
I honestly don't know that part. I just know the part of Heaven told me that she found out he was doing fentanyl and he was cheating.
Some people have checked out his background. It's a long list of violence.
That's the reason why he was handcuffed and put in a cruiser before they would even come to us that night. And that's what they told her. That night, they told her that she could evict him and she could leave. So 8 months pregnant, I pick up my best friend, I load them and Aiden up in the car, and they tell her to pack a bag and stay away. And probably the best thing to do was to pack up her apartment and leave.
So you guys, she went to stay with you in March?
Yes, she
What
was.
happened next?
She had went home because of Faith. Faith had been sitting there by herself, and she wanted Faith to go to the bathroom. So she went home that night, but she had a friend with her that night. I'm not going to say names.
I understand.
But my rule is she was allowed to go back to her house if this person stayed with her because of Donald. So she went back, and then they told us to file an EPO, just like they did that night, Friday night. They told her to file an EPO. So my mother loads her up in the car. While she's loading her up in the car to go file the EPO, keep in mind, 8 months pregnant, he tries to rip my best friend out of my mother's car. And my mother looks at him and says, I have a husband at home, and he has a safe full of guns. You want to put your hands on her again? I will come. Like, I will make the phone call, and my husband will come over here and deal with this. But literally 8 months pregnant, trying to go get help for herself, he was ripping her out of the car. So that's probably why the EPO never went through in March, because she was so terrified, because he had already ripped her out of the car trying to go get the EPO filed.
When the time frame that she was at the Independence location, were they quote unquote broken up?
Yes. So when Heaven moved into her apartment, she had FaceTimed me, and I didn't notice the surroundings. And she was so excited. She told me, she said, I'm out. I said, what do you mean? She said, I have a new apartment now. I moved into an income-based apartment. And I was like, okay, period. Like, I'm happy for you, because she struggled for so long paying the bills on her own at the trailer. And she told me also that night, I had asked her, I said, is Donald there with you too? Because I never knew what I could say on the phone, because I never knew if he was around. She said, happy with a smile on FaceTime, she said, no, I left him. She said, when I moved out of the trailer, I told him I didn't want him to come with me. But what hurts me the most is he moved the couches in the living room. So that's how he knew where she was. And I just wish, like, my father is her father too. So I just wish that she would have called my dad instead and been like, hey, I'm leaving. I have an apartment. I just need you to move me. Because like I said, she's one of our extra children.
He knew where she went to.
He knew where the apartment was, because he moved the couches in the apartment.
Okay.
Because she didn't have anybody else to move her.
Okay. So he knew where she lived.
Yeah.
Did you hear from her at all on the Friday night?
No, I did not. So like with everything going on in my personal life, I actually have hid out a lot. The last time I seen Heaven in person, I was meeting my second nephew.
Well, you've lost a grandmother, a cousin,
my cousin's actually
brother,
in Cardinal Hill right now.
a brother. I mean, you've had a lot of brother death, cousins, Cardinal Hill. You've experienced a lot on your own. Your mother has cancer.
Yeah, she's actually was supposed to be with me today. It made me really nervous. She's actually getting her blood work done now.
Well, you're not nervous now.
No, actually, when I met you, like, I was like, man, this man's about to be hard on me, and you've actually been pretty nice.
Well, you know, every interview is different. Like with Justin Wade, I had to keep, when he said sometimes to keep the story going, you got to keep somebody on track. And of course, Justin's a big old tough old boy, aren't you, Justin? He can handle it.
Yeah.
You don't. Depending on who you're interviewing, what the purpose is. Well, some of the things, I'm going to close with this. But first off, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Honestly, like, I want you guys to know how great of Heaven was a person. So I just want to share a few memories with you guys. So the day Aiden started school, his kindergarten day, we were so excited. We had him at the front door, and we had him all dressed up, and he was excited. And just like the park, anybody who knew her knew that she was family oriented. And I just miss you, Heaven, more than anything in the freaking world. And like right now, waking up this morning and having to do this, like, you were supposed to be my person. That was my side hand who always went with me to do everything. And I just want you to know I won't stop until I fight for you, because you were the most important person in my life.
You know, one of the things, God bless you, one of the things that troubles me, well, there's several things that troubles me, is Friday night, the 911 call that she made, she said he stole her phone. He took her phone.
Yeah.
He was at her apartment, was not living, had no right to be there. Trespass. They try to claim it wasn't trespass. Menacing is just scaring somebody. Harassing communications. They should have arrested him Friday night. That's what bothers me more than anything else.
What I don't understand is just like
And then on Sunday night,
how do you not go after her?
I know.
That's what I'm
Sunday
saying.
night, they claimed they had drones and dogs. When the shots happened, the dog was up by the apartment.
That's what I'm saying.
They're claiming they went in those woods. I don't think they did.
No,
You know
if
somebody's
look
got a
at
gun. You know somebody's dead on the front porch, and you know there's a woman and that guy somewhere.
Exactly.
You're
If
not
someone's
looking for him.
screaming at you like she's in there, I would have, with everything in me, I tell everybody this. I wish I was in the woods with her. Not for the fact of like losing my life. I always protected her at every single cost. And like for them not to
tried
go
to protect her again.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have cared if it came to my life. I would have ran across that field. Y'all want to stand there and not do anything to go after her? Right. I would have went after her, but she didn't call me that night like she always did. Right. Like, how do you, how do you not go in?
When Justin came, when her stepfather came to the place, and she contacted him, I got the text message that says, "Please come, Donald." Donald. When he got there, the police that hadn't even go into the apartment and see that the two kids are there and they're alone. The two babies were there alone.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like Heaven would have never left her kids.
Right.
Sole fact in there.
Right.
Also, Aiden, he's like our little mini teenager. Like, he helped his mom with everything with Glison. If you look at her Facebook, he would hold I've watched Aiden make bottles. Like, I went through everything that I went through, so it was a little bit scarce of time of spending time with them. But he would make bottles, change diapers. I was like, look at you, my little old man, helping mommy. So, like, I could only imagine right now. Like, I haven't been able to see him, but, like...
her sister has them, Angel?
Yes.
Okay.
Angel has them, and I love Angel. Angel, if you're watching this, I love you with everything in me, and I'm always going to be here for you no matter what.
You are a very nice young lady. Thanks for speaking on behalf of your friend Heaven. And just to let you know, we've made an open records request for everything at the Independence Police Department. And they put out a timeline. And I hate to say this because I like the Independence Police Department, but I don't think they're telling the truth. They're not telling the truth. And we're going to get to the bottom of what actually happened. And I can tell you right now, there were plenty of crimes he committed that he should have been arrested on Friday night. You know, it's got to, I wanted to end, but then I just thought of something. It's got to be just god-awful to be a woman and have a violent man who's abused you, mistreated you, and has the control over you, and when you want help, you don't get the help. It's scary. It's scary. And just to let you know,
taken for a 72-hour hold.
I have no respect whatsoever for any man that beats up on a woman, who's abusive to a woman. Absolutely, I just have no. I had a friend of mine that had a problem, and I told him, I said, not going to accept it. Not going to accept it. His wife sent me a video of him completely out of control, and I was like, my God, you know, it's just awful. The men who mistreat women with violence and threat of violence is just awful. So anyway, thank you. This has been Eric Deters with the very kind and sweet Courtney Reffett, the best friend of Heaven Glisson.